I find myself at a sticking point. I jumped into this entrepreneurship game without truly understanding or appreciating the challenge it was going to be. My naive self thought that I'll be able to do it easily. Boy, I've been proved wrong. This game isn't for the faint-hearted and takes heart. But I'm a fighter, and the last thing I'm going to do is give in. This will work. The last 6 months was just the warm-up. We start again today. Love from your past self, James.
Welcome to Awaken the Ripple, the podcast that provides practical tips through real and honest conversations to help you unlock your purpose, ignite positive change within you, whilst empowering you to create ripples of impact throughout the world. I am back with season 2, and it's called The Season of Doing. Season 1 asked us to look inward. Season 2 asks us to step forward through action. And today's conversation is a perfect place to start. Taking the leap. We all know those moments, right? When you step away from comfort, certainty, or the familiarity and choose growth anyway. Well, my guest today is someone living this in real time. James McAuley-Clegg is an experienced digital marketer and early stage entrepreneur. 10 months into his founder journey, he's building JMC Labs, a performance creative agency from zero, after 7 years working with global brands. He's figuring business out as he goes and documenting his journey openly on at From Start to Business. Outside of work, you'll find James cooking, traveling, or swinging around on the bars at the gym, which feels like a pretty good metaphor for this season of life, right? Have a listen. James, are you ready?
Very ready. Let's do this.
Okay, just to give the audience a little bit of context, I want to say it's June 2024. Let's wheel back in time.
Okay.
And I remember it was yourself, myself, and a good friend of ours. We all met up and you dropped the news to us that you were booking this one-way ticket, leaving London. And I was like, wait, what? So if you can go back to June 2024, around that period of time, what was going on in your world for you to take that opportunity to leave?
Quite a lot. It was a big decision. I had started the year quite well, actually.
Okay.
It had been a good start to the year, relatively good start, but there was just something missing, is the way I can describe it. I felt like I was just in a routine that almost felt like I was living life on autopilot.
Yeah.
And there was something within me that just wanted to seek something more than what I was currently doing at that moment. So that's really what inspired me to kind of take that jump, that leap, and just go and see what else was out there in the world. It wasn't till June where that became real, and I'd actually booked the flight. And I booked the flight, and it all became very real from that moment onwards. It was, a strange feeling, actually. Almost like a feeling of relief in some way, shape or form, because...
Feeling of relief?
Yeah, it was something that I'd wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah.
I was sort of passionate about seeing the world, exploring the world. And I sort of knew that my time in London, so to speak, up until that point was done for that period of my life.
Yeah. I want to go back to what you said before, because you kind of just glossed over it. You said that something was missing. Can you dive a little bit deeper into that?
Yeah, definitely. So I was in a routine. What was it? I'd been working in corporate for about 7 years.
Yeah.
And I'd really enjoyed my time. And I felt like that year in particular, it was just coming to a point where it became too samey.
Okay.
I wasn't feeling the progression that I wanted to, which was sort of impacting my fulfillment in life and what I wanted from life. Yeah. And I remember this one moment in particular. I was on the tube going into work, and just the voiceover, the next station is da da da. And I just remember sitting there thinking, wow, like, is this really me for the next 40 years, 50 years? And I just couldn't bear to believe that was going to be the case. So
wow.
I think that moment was really sort of a pivotal moment.
As you recalling that story, it's so interesting how you remembered the exact moment, being on a tube, hearing the voiceover and thinking to yourself, is this going to be my life for the next 40, 50 years? This is not what I want. And this goes back to like even season 1, where I think it was during my conversation with Amy or probably with Fiona, where we were talking about the relationship that we have with our bodies. I feel as though instinctively our bodies always know what it is that is best suited or best aligned for us.
Definitely.
And I think you had to notice that this isn't where you're meant to be. Would you say it was something like that?
Something like that, yeah. That gut feeling.
Yes.
I do, the more I've lived life, the more I've learned that you should really trust the gut. And it's something that I'm always considerate of now. When something feels right or feels like the right thing to do for you, to actually just take that step, take that opportunity, send the message, speak to the stranger, whatever it might be. If it feels right, it probably is.
Yeah, completely agree. And I love too that because you had this clarity in your gut, you needed that space to kind of figure out what would be 40, 50 years for James McAuley-Clegg.
Definitely. No, I remember when I went traveling. So I left in September, and it wasn't really until January where I started to have desires of what is next. I almost needed 3 months, 4 months to kind of just digest the
change in scenery.
The change in scenery and really kind of just come to terms with, okay, this is really the next phase of life and what is to come next. Think about what I wanted to do, but just kind of be a bit more in tune with me, myself, rather than the stresses of day-to-day life, almost not allowing you to have that time to
100%
to think for yourself in a way.
So you left on the 1st of September.
I actually arrived on the 1st of September.
You arrived on the 1st of September. Okay. And you said it took you a few months of figuring out what your next step would be.
For sure.
Okay. So I'm keen to understand, when did that kind of penny drop for you, where you had that realization of this is the life that I want to live? Walk us through that.
It was, I mean, there's one particular moment that I'll mention in a sec, but I think the whole experience was very new.
Right.
I didn't actually know whether I'd like traveling. I never did it.
Yeah.
I'd never done it before. I'd been on obviously family holidays and things, but I don't think I'd been out of Europe once to America, but I'd sort of stayed within my compounds or confines, so to speak. So Asia was completely new.
Yeah.
And in those first few months, I just remember loving it. Just loving the sort of how new it was, how different it was, not being able to speak the language, but learning a little bit. The food being different, but really amazing. The things you could do were different, but really great. The weather obviously was a massive factor as well. So the first couple of months was kind of just understanding, do I actually like this lifestyle? Yes. And then it was a case of come the new year, so January 25, it was a case of, okay, I do like this.
Yeah.
I really want to think about a way I can make this sustainable. So travel and work at the same time and just be a bit more free location-wise. As opposed to being tied in one set place. And it wasn't until I had a conversation with a friend, this was really where the penny dropped. I had a conversation with her. She'd been doing freelancing for some time, and she sort of made me aware of how good an opportunity freelancing was and how actually well paid it can be. She sort of laid out what she did at the start of her journey, how she got clients. And that was really the moment in which I was like, okay, I like this lifestyle. I've now got a blueprint essentially of how I can make it possible. Let's try and put that into action. And then from January 25 onwards, that was where I sort of put motion into starting JMC Labs.
Okay. What is it about JMC Labs? Tell us a little bit more about the services you offer.
Sure. So it's graphic design and digital marketing for D2C businesses.
Okay. D2C, what does that mean?
Direct to consumer. So think e-commerce, any products or service that are being advertised directly to a consumer.
Right. Okay.
And I'll design the ads for the businesses. I'll research, design, and then I will upload them online and run them and drive them results, whether it's revenue, sales, leads.
Fabulous. This is January 2025. We're still in Thailand.
Yep.
Thailand.
We're in Bangkok in Thailand,
We're
yeah.
in Bangkok in Thailand. You've created JMC Labs providing D2C services. What was your typical day looking like as you were on this beginning journey?
Yeah, I remember it very well, actually. Before it was that, though,
Okay.
this is still, it's at ideation phase.
Okay, ideation
So
phase.
what I've just
Okay.
said now
Yeah,
is a
Where
sort of a
it's-
10-month process of getting to there. When it was January, it was merely an idea. I had a name and a logo, I think. Maybe I hadn't designed that, but a name and a logo. And I just knew that I wanted to do something online.
Yeah.
And obviously, having been in marketing, digital marketing before, it made sense. My day-to-day essentially looked like wake up, go to the gym, the outdoor gyms in Bangkok. They've got some really great outdoor gyms there. We would come back to where we were staying and we would sort of sit on these sofas, and we were both working on our own little projects, doing our own little things, and JMC Labs was my baby at the time. On top of that, we were playing a lot of chess.
I like it.
Yeah, really great memories of that period of time.
Yeah.
And I just had a really great time sort of knowing that I was starting this business, but at the same time doing it in an environment in which I was quite inspired and fulfilled by.
Obviously, you returned to London.
Yep.
We caught up and I was telling you about this amazing workshop that I'd been on probably the year before. So yeah, I think it was like October 2024. And during this workshop, we had to write a letter to our future self.
Yes.
And I think you were like, oh my gosh, that sounds like such a good idea. So you said you wanted to do it too. And you purposely wanted to send me that letter. So I have the letter. It's unopened. Before I kind of get you to read the letter, can you remember how you were feeling as you were writing it?
I remember this was August last year, and yeah, it'd been April, May, June, July, August, 5 months, give or take, since I'd sort of got back from traveling. And really that was when I'd gone full time on JMC Labs. And around that time, it was still a case of me throwing a lot of at the wall and hoping something would stick.
Yeah.
And I think that's great to do as an early stage founder. It's important to do that. Really, when the situation changed for me was when I got a little bit more strategic with what I was doing and actually sought some advice from experienced people. So at this moment in time, I was still very much experimenting, doing all sorts and not really seeing any tangible results, in truth. For as much as I was seeing personal progression in my sort of ability to scream about my ideas, post myself online or whatever it might be, I wasn't really seeing any tangible results yet within the business, not at least monetary results. So yeah, at this point in time, it was very much a case of not really knowing what I was doing and pretending that I did.
Fake it until you make it.
Somewhat like that, yeah. Somewhat like that. And I feel sort of I've matured so much in regards to business, in particular, since writing this. So I'm quite interested to see what I've written and trying to take myself back there, actually.
Yeah, 100%. So
I've got a few ideas. I remember some of it.
A few parts of it.
Yeah, but not all of it.
When I did the exercise, like you, I think I had an idea of what I'd want to be doing in this future state. But as I was writing it, it felt really intentional of what I was telling myself of what Chrissy will be in this 6-month period. I actually forgot about the letter, and it was only when I opened it, I realized, oh my gosh, this was a letter that I wrote like 6 months previously. I'm thinking about it and it's giving me like goosebumps. I remember exactly where I was writing the letter, and to hear my voice back in my brain as I'm reading the letter and to see that I had actually accomplished quite a few things from out of it. It was the most surreal feeling. It was, I don't know how to really explain it, but I felt as though I was looking at both versions of myself. I just felt it was such a powerful exercise that we had done.
Yeah, No, I can see that. It's almost like a window into the future.
Yes.
And then one back into the past,
Yes.
I guess, when you receive it or reread it, which I'm sure I'll feel.
I'm keen for you to open
Yeah?
it. Yeah.
Come on, let's do it. Good start.
Take your time, James.
Let's do this. Let's have a bit of water first.
Let me have some water too. I'm feeling nervous all of a sudden.
Dear James, it's the evening of the 1st of August 2025. Today you met with Chrissy at the Mindshare office and hatched a plan. A written love letter to your future self, certifying your commitment to the goals you will achieve in the following 6 months' time. Firstly, I'd like to mention my great appreciation for Chrissy.
Aww.
To have such a friend in my life has been a blessing. She has believed in me before I believed in myself. She has pushed me, challenged me, supported me and inspired me since we met, and for that I will be forever grateful. Now back to me. As I write those words, I find myself at a sticking point. I jumped into this entrepreneurship game without truly understanding or appreciating the challenge it was going to be. My naive self thought that I'll be able to do it easily. Boy, I've been proved wrong. This game isn't for the faint-hearted and takes heart. But I'm a fighter, and the last thing I'm going to do is give in. This will work. The rewards will show. Put your head down, keep learning, and take the opportunities when they arise. The journey speaks for itself, but you have always been a dreamer and know how capable you can be. The difference between now and then is you did it no matter what. So when I wrote this, I had like a scoring system for life: health, wealth, social, and fun. And it's a score between 1 to 10.
Right. Okay.
Health, I've gone 8.
8.
Wealth, 3. Not wrong.
Yeah.
Social, 2, and then fun, 2.
Okay.
For health, I wrote great physical health. Mental can be stronger via meditation, self-belief, and confidence. Wealth, financially poor, but rich in time, family support, can be improved by consistent monthly retainer payments and business growth. Social, this part of my life feels lonely. Few people understand what I'm doing. Can be improved via networking, combine work with social.
Yeah.
And then fun. Having limited fun, content has been a drag, can be improved by loosening up and finding joy in it. What does a 10 look like? So this is me today, I guess, or what I predicted me to be today. Health, consistently have gone to the gym 5 to 7 times a week, meditated each morning, and confidently act with self-belief. Wealth is 5K per month with JMC Labs, 10K followers on From Start to Business, and a low-ticket digital product released. Social is regularly attend networking events, make the first move with relationships, dedicated time to family commitments and charity support. And then fun, I've written content with sharing true self and believing in me. You've grown, you've worked hard, you've made these dreams come true. That you should be proud. Finally, I want to thank myself for being real, being open and honest to critique and feedback. This has helped me massively, seeing the lows as a lesson and a sign to keep on learning and not to quit. I want to thank myself for being disciplined. Nothing that I earned today came easily, and this is only the result of hard work, pain and suffering. I want to thank God and the path they've chosen. Everything in this life happens for a reason. The last 6 months was just the warm-up. We start again today. Love from your past self, James. And that is the guest pass that I was given on the day that we spoke about writing this.
Wow.
That's interesting reading that, really interesting.
What's landed for you from reading that back?
Definitely just maintaining that belief. That's been a pivotal part of this whole process. Just continuing with the self-belief and knowing that actually the results will show after time. It wasn't until late last year where really the ball got rolling.
Yeah.
In particularly financially, I'd spent near enough 6 months, 7 months just making money.
Really?
Yeah, minimal. So to kind of put all of the effort in, the hours that I was doing to not really make anything at all was very hard. in truth. It was quite difficult. And it obviously left me thinking, God, have I made the right decision?
Wow.
I've sort of given up. I've packed in a well-paying job for this.
Yeah.
But coming into this year, sort of setting the foundations late last year in regards to client acquisition, and then coming into this year with some really strong results, sort of only 2 weeks ago now, getting my biggest client to date was really a great feeling. And I don't think I would have gotten to there had I have not sort of persisted through that early 6 months.
Okay.
To feel like I've continued no matter what has come my way, rejections, that sort of a thing is a really good feeling. And reading that sort of emphasizes that. And I really resonate with that still. Because you still get rejections, you still get no's. And no matter where you are on the journey, you're always going to feel some form of lack of belief or rejection or failure, and really just persisting through that is quite important. And not listening to the noise, that's another thing actually. Yeah. Don't be blind to criticism. Don't be stupidly optimistic actually, because I am.
Yeah.
But be sure in what you're doing, no matter what the situation looks like, and it will pay off eventually.
Okay. I feel as though there is something that happens when we start telling ourselves in our mind of what's going to happen in the future, and even going as far as writing things down on paper, because I definitely felt, looking at your content since after we met, it definitely took a different direction. It felt as though there was a lot more intensity behind it, a lot of purpose, a lot of intention. What are your thoughts behind it? Like seeing that you've written the letter and now reflecting on that and your journey.
I think it's great to write things down. I really do. I write in a diary every single day now, and just write whatever, to-do lists, how I feel, what I'm excited about, what I'm nervous about, anything. I mean, I wrote a diary entry this morning for this. I think I did one last night as well for this. Yeah. And it's just a great way to put thoughts, take them out of your head and store them somewhere else, and then you move on to another thought, I guess. At least that's how I feel when I write. And writing to your future self, I think, is quite a powerful thing, 100%. Especially when you're almost sort of signing off. That's the future that you're going towards in a way. And it's a really good way to keep focused, have your end goal in mind, and signify it, I guess.
Yeah, it reminds me of this book that you recommended to me that I've been reading. The name of the book is How to Think Like Alex Ferguson. I have zero interest in football, but it was more about the psychology that Sir Alex Ferguson implemented with his players. Everything that he did was quite intentional. The author spoke about Muhammad Ali. I'm unable to quote it word for word, but Muhammad Ali used to visualize what his fights used to be like. So much so that there would be times when he would predict the round in which his opponent would go down in. What he basically was trying to put out there was that those fights were won well before actually getting into the ring. There's another part in the book that references football players basically using that same strategy. And they made this association saying that you actually go through those victories twice. Once in your mind's eye, visualizing the outcome. And then the second occasion when it actually happened. Again, reading that, it was quite inspirational to know that we have it within ourselves to make what we're dreaming of a reality.
A fantastic book. I really, really like it. And I've not stopped reading it since I got my hands on it. For me, it's you have to have the vision to actually believe that what you're going to achieve or what you can do is possible. Without a vision, you're kind of just blindly navigating through. Yeah. So having that initial vision is, paramount. To me, I don't think you could achieve anything without actually sitting thinking, okay, this is what I want to achieve. This is potentially how I can do it. So I think no matter whether you do believe in manifestation or you don't believe in manifestation, you're instinctively doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great thing to do. And yeah, I do it quite often.
Really?
I mean, I am a bit of a dreamer, so to speak. And only more recently have I become an actual doer. So it's not just sitting and dreaming about the thing. Because actually, for as much as you have great manifestations and you can visualize fantastically well, there comes a point in time where you've got to actually put pen to paper and put action to it, right? But
exactly.
That initial vision is really important.
If you keep visualizing it, I think it just ignites this energy within you to move forward,
Definitely.
to make it a reality.
Definitely.
So yeah, I absolutely love that.
One of the big things that I think's changed in my way of working, so to speak, in recent months is it's great to have that vision, but if you just leave it at the end goal, how you get there is undecided. And actually it's having that vision. So I want to start a podcast, but not just leaving it at that. It's I want to start a podcast. Okay, work backwards now. How do I start a podcast? And actually have some actionable steps that you can sort of achieve, tick off each day that work towards that end goal. And that for me has definitely helped.
That's it for part 1. The lead continues in part 2.